Hello there, everybody! Welcome to today's video. My name is Joy KahNah, and today we're going to speak about whether or not your thoughts actually create your reality. A lot of sort of spiritual teachers, etc., have been saying for a good long time now, your thoughts create your reality, and you've got to think positive because, your whole world is created from that. And overall, I think that sometimes this can be a little bit of a confusing notion for us, can't it, right? Because it can put a lot of pressure on us to feel like we've got to think positive, we've got to always think about what we want, if we want it to manifest and stuff like that. And yet, sometimes you could even think about something all the time that you really desire to manifest, and you really can have your thoughts all perfect, and maybe for some reason it still doesn't come into your reality. So in those cases, what's happening? If our thoughts create our reality, how come sometimes when we think about something over and over and over and over and over again, it still doesn't come in? Well, my sense of what's really going on is not exactly that our thoughts create our reality, but it's kind of close. So right now, you guys, it's Friday, January 10th when I'm recording this. Today is a full moon, it's a lunar eclipse, and it's the Saturn-Pluto conjunction that astrologers have been talking about for a decade. So it's a powerful day. But right now in Earth's reality, we still exist in the 3D realm. And in this realm, it's not yet possible to think of something and then have that thing manifest right in front of our eyes. So in other words, like I can sit here and think like, wouldn't it be so cool, you guys, if this actually worked? But like, I could sit here and think over and over again, like red apple, red apple, red apple, red apple, red apple, red apple. And just like for the rest of my life, I could think that. And most likely like a red apple is not gonna appear in my hands, right? However, I do want to say it is my sense that there are definitely other places in the multiverse where what you think immediately does manifest. And I think that includes the higher realms where we go after we pass, etc. And I do believe that at some point in Earth's future, that just thinking about something will bring it into manifestation. I do believe that. And I also believe that within some more hidden or secretive realms of physics and metaphysics right now, there does exist technologies whereby you can amplify a person's thought vibrations in order to manifest real physical things into reality. And if you guys are more curious in learning about that, then I really recommend that you consider looking into some of the science and books and stuff written about the Montauk Project and other sorts of government initiatives. So here's what I want to talk about today. If our thoughts don't create our reality, then what is creating our reality, right? Or like, what is having a big influence on our reality? And my sense is that what it actually is here at this present time on the planet isn't exactly our thoughts, luckily, right? Because that puts a lot of pressure on every single thought that goes in our mind. But it's actually more so our beliefs and what we believe is possible, what we believe we're experiencing. And so in today's video, I'm going to talk about 3 ways that your beliefs have a dramatic influence on what you experience in this human lifetime that you're in, right? And before we talk about this, I just want to say one thing, which is that from the time that we're very little children, right, we're taught to attribute meaning to certain things in our reality. Think, for example, of a stop sign. So here in the US, it's like a big, is it a hexagon or an octagon? I think it's like an octagon, red, stop, And so we're taught that that means stop. Even words, we're taught that they have certain meaning. But in reality, say, for example, the word stop, it doesn't actually mean that you need to halt yourself and stop moving, right? it actually doesn't mean anything. It's just a sound. Stop, stop, stop. And if you say this to somebody who doesn't speak English and they speak, Arabic or something, okay, I don't know if stop is stop in Arabic, right? But like, if you speak this to an alien from outer space and you say stop, it means nothing to them, because stop, the phonetic sound, doesn't actually mean anything. We've just attributed the meaning stop to stop, right? And this also applies to everything else in our reality. So, for example, another really common thing that we attribute meaning to, right? Valentine's Day is going to be coming up, you guys, the day of love. And, when we see a dozen red roses, a lot of times that could mean romance, that could mean love, but does it actually mean that? It absolutely does not mean that, right? That's just a meaning that we have been taught to believe. Like, if somebody gives you red roses, it means they love you, it means you've got a beautiful future together maybe, or at least they really want to spend tonight with you or something, right? Like, those are the sorts of things. But red roses could just as easily be an omen of death, for example. Or red roses could have any other meaning. It could mean, for example, you are going to be getting a new cat tomorrow, and you could always give somebody red roses right before they're about to get a new cat. Literally, it could mean anything. And so, so my point in saying this all is just keep this in mind, okay? Because when people are talking about your thoughts creating your reality, they're really meaning that your beliefs are shaping what you experience based on the meaning that you attribute to certain things. And in order to really maximize this for your spiritual well-being and enjoyment, it really is important to keep in mind that nothing in this reality actually means anything. There is no embedded meaning in anything. Everything just is. And how it makes us feel is largely attributed to what we believe it means, not what it actually means, because nothing actually has, I don't mean to sound grim, this is actually a really good thing, but nothing really has concrete meaning in this reality. Okay, so here's 3 ways that your beliefs are definitely influencing you right here, right now, and probably will continue to influence you forever. Your beliefs determine the way that you interpret the data that is coming into your brain. So basically our brains, we have consciousness that exists separate from our physical human experience. So in other words, even if you're out of body, if you die, you still have consciousness and you still have, in a way, thought. The brain is a whole different matter. And so the brain, basically what it does, right, is it takes in different data from our environment. And that's kind of like what our senses are doing, right? We hear something and our brain takes in that signal. We see something and our brain takes in that image, and then it sort of does all these really massive like neuron fires and calculations, and then it tries to tell us like what it believes that it is experiencing, right? Like, and so it says, okay, I just saw a flash of light and I heard a bang. Okay, lightning bolt. But like, maybe that wasn't always a lightning bolt to every human being. Maybe if someone had that the first time they ever saw the lightning bolt, maybe they really thought it was, God or something like that, right? Like bringing down light into the world, or they could have just thought it was anything, right? So my point in saying this is that what you believe is dramatically going to alter what you experience. So a real kind of easy to understand example of this is the belief that many of us may have or did have at one point in time. I know I did, which is the belief in jolly old St. Nicholas, the belief in Santa Claus. Okay? So if you have the belief, let's say you're a child, just for this moment, maybe you really are, but if you're not, just pretend that you're 6 years old, 6.5, and you walk down the street and there's some snow falling and it's Christmas Eve, and wow, you see this man wearing a red suit you know, with the white trim on it, and he's got a big white beard, and you see him, you know, and he's holding a cookie, and you hear him kind of chuckle at something on the sidewalk, and it's like a ho 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 ho, and you think, oh my God, it's Santa Claus. Like, oh, I just saw Santa Claus, and you feel so good, and your entire body is just like rushed with endorphins, and suddenly you believe in magic, and the whole universe opens up for you, and your heart opens wide, and you believe that you've witnessed a miracle, and it's one of the best moments of your entire life because you've just witnessed Santa Claus right there in front of you, right? Okay, so that's if you believe in Santa Claus. But let's say you don't. Let's say you never heard about Santa Claus, or even let's say, even worse than that, that, you know, from the time that you were really little, your parents told you Santa Claus is false, Santa Claus is a lie, Santa Claus is for dummies, Santa Claus is for stupid little children who don't have a sense of reality, and he's an evil man and he actually eats kids, okay? So let's say you believe that. So if you believe that, you see the same thing, you know, you're walking down the street on Christmas Eve and you see the man in the red suit with the white trim, and you are filled with terror. You wonder, oh my God, mommy, like, and you try to hide behind your mom, and oh my God, is he gonna eat me? Oh, like, and you are frightened, very, very frightened, so much so that maybe you even fall over, and maybe you scrape your face or something like that, you know, or you break your arm, or any number of things. And so in that example, right, reality happened. And I think, you know, for most of us, right, like reality, as far as we know, is happening pretty much the same for everyone, right? Like that reality is the same for everybody that's there. There's that man walking down the sidewalk. Some people may notice him, some people may not notice him, but there's a huge difference in what you're going to experience based on whether you had that belief in Santa Claus being this magical man who bestows gifts, you know, on all the children, or if you believe in Santa Claus, the child eater, you know, like, oh my gosh, right? Like, it's a huge difference. And so as you can see, like, the main way that our beliefs are functioning is that they are shaping how we interpret the data that's coming into our reality, rather than actually creating reality, like in terms of what we are actually like seeing. Like, in other words, so that same little kid, if they just thought Santa, ultimately, if there's no man looking like Santa that happens to be walking on the sidewalk, they're probably not going to see Santa Claus. Okay, in most cases, right? What's rather occurring is that with the data that's available and coming in from reality, they are experiencing very different feelings, sensations, endorphins, and sense of well-being based on what they believe, okay? So that's the first way that your beliefs greatly influence reality. The second way is kind of alluded to there. They actually influence how you feel about what is taking place, okay? So they interpret how you feel about the data that is coming in. And as we know, like how we're feeling, right? Our feelings in our physical body have a huge impact in the quality of our life, but also our feelings have a very strong impact on both our physical and our mental health. Here's an example again of some beliefs and how it might influence your health. Let's say, for an example, a belief that some people here might have here on the Maya's Dream channel. It's one that I have, and this belief is, I believe that everything is working out for me. I believe that somehow, some way, this is all working out for me. This is all part of a larger plan. Like, I believe that everything's happening for a reason. I believe everything is working out for me. So, like, let's say that you believe everything is working out for you, and maybe something happens, right? Like, maybe you get an unexpected bill in the mail. This just happened to me, right? Like I got an unexpected bill in the mail for like $900 for a medical service that I had. At first I was kind of like, oh, this isn't, okay, I can pay this, but I don't really want to pay this, like I didn't have a very good feeling about it because I got it on Christmas Eve. Speaking of Christmas again. But I said, just like almost instantly, my belief took over, and my belief was like, I believe everything is working out for me. Somehow, some way, good is going to come of this. Everything happens for a reason. And I had that really strong belief, and I had that belief so much that I actually decided just after Christmas to call on the phone because I was like, you know what, some good is going to come out of this. And so let me just call and talk to the people who sent this bill. I called. And actually, the reason why I got the bill, because I have really, really good zero deductible health insurance right now. Thank you, angels. But anyway, so the reason I got the bill is actually because my insurance company thought that I had double insurance. And so, in other words, they were just paying half of the total coverage. And so I called them and they were like, thank you so much for clarifying. We'll take care of everything. You won't owe anything on this bill. And the reason I called was because I believed that something good was going to come of it, you guys, and something good came of it. But let's say instead that you had a different belief. Let's say one of your core beliefs is oh, this is a really dark world and I'm meant to suffer. Suffering is natural. All humans suffer and experience hardships, okay? It's not necessarily true or untrue, this belief, right? But if you believe that the reality is fundamentally, dark and you've just got to suffer through and pay your dues or whatever, then you probably would have had a totally different experience, right? Or I would have, if I got that bill, I probably just would have said, of course, not only am I sick and needing these really expensive, it was actually for some MRIs of my spine. Not only do I need these tests, which sucks, and not only am I sick, which sucks, but I also have to pay $900 for them, which sucks. And I probably just would have said, well, that's just how it is. So let me just get out my checkbook and write this check and just suffer through. And I guess, I won't be able to have as much fun this month or whatever, right? Somebody who, believes that reality is fundamentally dark and torturous is going to respond to life events really, really, really differently. Not only is it the difference in response, but in that case, it's really the difference in how you feel. So in my case, my belief, everything is working out for me, it really took over instantly. So yes, I felt a little bit of anxiety when I got the bill in the mail and stuff like that for an instant, right? And then I believe everything's working out for me somehow, some way of this, good is going to come. And then I started to feel a little bit more hopeful, a little bit good, right? And then but if I believe the other thing, the suffering, right? Not only would I have experienced extended anxiety, between sort of Christmas Eve and the day after Christmas, but also, I probably would have felt down that whole day. I probably would feel down that whole month. Who knows how long I'd feel down, because I'm assuming the universe is punishing me. I'm here to suffer. And yeah, eventually that belief, because you would make me feel like a victim. And eventually, my health might really start to suffer. I might start to feel a little bit depressed. I might start to feel anxious. I might start to feel hopeless. So yeah, the belief can really shape how we feel. And I really do believe that how we feel in our bodies, emotionally, is really shaped by our beliefs, and how we feel emotionally definitely impacts physical health. It's not always instantaneous. Sometimes it can be pretty quick, within a day or so we could get a headache or a cold or something like that if we've really fallen into a dark place or taken on a negative belief from someone. Usually it happens over a really, really long time. So if you constantly believe, I'm here to suffer, I'm here to suffer, I'm here to suffer, you're probably going to suffer more. And, eventually your body's going to take that on and be like, oh, I'm here to suffer. And you could develop, who knows, anything, right? Any sort of health matter. That's not my area of expertise exactly which health matter. That's more of a Louise Hay sort of thing or whatever. But just the point is your feelings definitely influence your health, okay? And your feelings are shaped by your beliefs. Therefore, your beliefs influence your health, mental and physical, and of course spiritual. And the third way that your beliefs influence your reality they do influence what you manifest. They do. Like, your beliefs will influence what you're able to manifest. Believing that you can manifest something doesn't always guarantee that it's just going to happen, right? But if you don't believe that something is possible, then guaranteed you are not going to experience it in almost every case. Okay, I can think there's always exceptions to everything, right? But if you believe something is impossible, you're very unlikely to experience it. Okay, we'll say that. So an example of this, right? Think back to, I don't even know when this was, like the early 1900s, the Wright brothers, okay? So these are some brothers, right? And they're living in a time where, you know, horse travel and car travel and boat travel, that's it. But they somehow believe, I think there's a way to fly. Like, I think there's definitely, like, you know, and I think there's a way to fly through the air. And they believe it's possible. They're like, we're going to find a way to fly. And everybody around them thinks that they're crazy and this is impossible. And how could anything so heavy, like, ever lift up in the air and with humans inside, let alone, like, nobody believes this is possible except for them. But they believe, like, we can fly. Okay, maybe some people believe that they could fly, but you know what I mean. Very few people believe this is going to happen. And so they believe, though, we can fly, we can build some sort of craft that can fly, we're going to fly. And they work on it, and guess what? They develop the airplane, right? And wow, like, now most of us have probably flown by airplane. We're able to travel all around the world because of their belief that flight was possible. And if they didn't believe that, who knows? They may not have developed the airplane. Who knows? Like, flight could be really, really far behind right now. Maybe no one would have developed it. You know, it's really hard to say. They were able to create the airplane because they believed in a time where most people did not. They believed that flight was possible. Another example, like, from my personal life this week, I'm making this video because I've been exploring beliefs a lot this week. So I don't know, you guys, this, like, Saturn-Pluto conjunction, it brought up for me, like, this focus, like, of empowerment and discipline and stuff like that. And I really felt a lot of energy around that and decided to try to channel it into running this week. And I was experimenting with the idea of how beliefs can influence our experience of reality. I wanted to sort of experiment with it and really see if it would work for me, like, just believing certain things were possible. And so before starting the week, I decided to watch just a couple of videos on YouTube to program my mind to believe that our body really doesn't have very many limitations in terms of, like, what's possible for us physically. So I watched, like, a couple videos from ultra runners and stuff like that, people that run like 100 miles and stuff, which I am not that. Typically, like, I'll jog a couple times a week for like 3 miles or something. So in the first video I watched, I don't remember who it was, but one of these ultra runners said something that my mind, like, totally, like, latched onto for data, like, and formed a belief around. And she said, the body is strong, but the mind is weak. The body is strong, but the mind is weak. And what she was meaning to say is, like, your body can pretty much go on endlessly running, but what makes you stop and what makes you fatigued is that your mind tells you, you've done enough, you can't do more than this, yada, yada, yada. I thought, okay, that's a really good foundational belief. Let me make it my own. And so I made it like, the body is strong and the mind is strong. Because I feel like I can make my mind really strong. Takes a little bit of work, but not too much, right? And so I just went out this week and ran and ran and ran. And I just kept saying, the body is strong. Like, there's pretty much no limit on how much I can run here. And I ran 40 miles. And yeah, I mean, I experienced, like, a little bit of fatigue, but in no way did I, like, feel that I couldn't go on anymore, right? And you guys, I have never done that before. I'd be lucky most months if I get that much mileage in a month. But yeah, I did it, and I did it because of my new belief. I promise you there's no possible way that I would have even attempted that if I didn't just believe that basically there's just no limits like on how much we can run. Because the body is infinitely strong, and if our mind is aligned, then we can just go and go and go. And so anyway, so whatever, it is that like you're hoping to achieve, realize that if you believe it's possible, you are, and okay, so admittedly, right, there is a caveat. The belief alone is not going to make something happen based on, hair in my eye, you guys. The belief alone is not going to make something happen if you're not willing to put in the work. So I still had to go. I still had to put one foot in front of the other, etc. The Wright brothers still had to tinker around. They had to put in hard work. They had to build an airplane, right? So your belief informs your actions, right? But you're not going to take the actions towards something that you don't believe is possible. And anyway, so it's really important to check your beliefs. And if you in your heart you're hoping to achieve something, you gotta believe that the belief is the foundation stone. So you believe, this can happen. You believe in infinite possibilities or whatever. Believe that you can run endlessly. Whatever it is, like you believe that you can fly, create a flying machine. You gotta believe it, and then. This is where the Saturn-Pluto thing comes in, not to digress too much into astrology, but then you put in your power of your soul and your discipline and your hard work, and then you make it happen, okay? So that's how reality works right now, but without that belief, you're not even going to attempt it. So we really, really want to understand that, I think it's really important not to take on other people's negative beliefs. Yeah, there's nobody in my life that would have believed that I could run 40 miles, right? For example, so if I would have asked, hey, do you think it's possible for me to run 40 miles? They would have, anybody that I know, my family, friends, they would have said, that's not a good idea. Either you definitely shouldn't do that, or you're going to get injured, or it's not possible. In reality, all those things were false. It was possible for me, and I didn't get injured or anything. So anyway, my point is just saying beliefs are very, very powerful. And what you program yourself with, every time we watch something, every time we talk to somebody, we're influencing our beliefs, or we're editing our beliefs. So what you take in terms of information that influences your beliefs is really actually pretty critical in terms of how you will experience reality. Not exactly what will be in your reality, but how you will experience what's already there, how you're going to feel about it, and ultimately what's possible for you. So yeah, you guys, in conclusion, I just want to say that your positive beliefs absolutely can dramatically alter your lived experience, especially if you're feeling down, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling anxious. It may be that you've taken on some negative beliefs about reality, and you can really start feeling a lot better, become more healthy, become more vibrant, and open up a lot of possibilities for yourself by going in, figuring out what your beliefs are, and shifting them to something that feels more supportive. Again, remembering that there is actually no meaning to anything in our reality, except the meaning that we assign to it. And so if you assign positive meaning to most things in your reality, then you're likely to feel positively about most things that you experience. It really is as simple as that. So I hope in some way that this message has reached you or helped you in some way today. And yeah, I just want to thank you all for being here on the Maya's Dream channel, and wish you all a very happy new year, a happy eclipse today. And I also want to say thank you to everyone who voted in the poll. Do you guys like the community tab? Do you want me to post more things on the community tab? I'm thinking about doing that. Yesterday I put out a poll asking if you guys preferred seeing me on camera, or if you kind of didn't care and you liked the podcast style videos that I put out just as much. And yeah, about 100 of you voted right away, and slightly more of you preferred to see me on video, which is why I'm on video today. But about half of you, almost half, said you don't really care, and you also really like the podcast videos about the same. So what I'm going to try to do here in 2020 is a mix of both, but I'm going to try to at least appear on camera half of the time, and sometimes if I'm really busy or I'm away from home or I'm traveling or stuff like that, then I might make a podcast style video instead, because at least half of you like those just the same. Okay, so anyway, thank you guys again. Thank you so much for being here on the Maya's Dream channel. Harness your beliefs for good, okay? I want you guys all to feel good and feel vibrant and to amaze yourselves, okay? I believe you can do that. I believe you will do that. And yeah, that's pretty much all. So thank you again for being here. If you like this video, please feel free to come back here to the Maya's Dream channel any Friday for another new video here in 2020. Many, many blessings to all of you guys, and namaste. Bye.